going on, guys? My name is Naeem. I'm a 20-year-old entrepreneur that runs a rental fleet here in Las Vegas, and I'm gonna show you a little bit about my fleet. So being 20 years old, I actually started this business when I was 18, and I get a lot of frequently asked questions. So I just want to make this video to kind of answer some of your questions and kind of help you guys start off and start what I did 2 years ago, and maybe you guys have a fleet one day like this. First question I get asked all the time is how was I able to obtain some of these vehicles at the age of 18? And honestly, it's about building your credit. When I turned 18, I got my first credit card, and how people say you get like your first entry level credit card. Then I got my main credit cards, and I actually paid some people to get some authorized users just to boost my credit up to that 800. And I know sometimes that doesn't work, but I did wait about 6 months before I went and got my first auto loan, which my first auto loan was about 15,000. And when I got that auto loan, I was able to get about 4 more within that same 2-week span, to about $150,000 worth of cars. The second most frequently asked question is how was I able to create a Turo account, or how was I able to start a company at 18 because Turo's limits 21. So I actually teamed up with my business partner Mo, and we actually started this fleet from basically nothing. We had our own personal vehicles. At the time he didn't have a Lambo. At the time we didn't have a Corvette. We had none of these cars. He had a personal Nissan GTR. I had a 2005 Honda Civic that I was dailying. So it was a complete different vibe, but he ended up buying a daily where we actually tested out that car. It was a 2018 Mercedes-Benz C63 where we were renting that car, and within the first 10 days, the car actually made enough to get a wrap. And doing that, you're at a position where you're like, this car just made its money for a wrap in 10 days. Why can't I do this and make so much money on it? We ended up actually getting the G-Wagon that's over there. It's a 2013 G550. We kind of have it spec'd out of the G63, and that's how we bought it. So it's lifted, has bigger tires, and honestly, it was one of the best rentals. Right now, it's kind of under commission. It has a few things that's wrong with it. It's a 2013. It has almost 150,000 miles. It's honestly the tank of the fleet, but it was actually the second car we added to the fleet. After that, we got a BMW i8 that we recently sold. That's how I was able to start. I just had a business partner. I had the ideas. Me and him executed together, and now I have a fleet of over 35 cars here in Las Vegas. And the third, and I think most important question that I get asked is, Naeem, how are you able to have 35 cars on your fleet? Like, there's a cap of credit, there's a cap of capital you have. And yes, there is. Me and Mo actually had the first 14 cars together, just me and him, under our credits, under cash that we bought the vehicles. But there was a point where we had to realize that we wanted to expand, and that's where we get into OPC. OPC is where you actually get other people's cars, and what I mean by that is you actually get somebody to give you their vehicle at a percentage split of you managing the car. So we do a 70-30 split or 60-40 split depending on the vehicle we're getting with all our clients. So basically, like right here, we have a 2016 Jaguar F-Type that we actually rent out here in Las Vegas. We've had this car for over a year now, that it's been making residual for our client anywhere from $500 to $1,000 profit every single month, where he's able to take home money every single month, and we're actually able to take 30% of that as well. So we also have other cars like the red Corvette, the Tesla. Basically half our fleet is other people's cars, but we've been able to leverage other people's cars to basically grow our fleet over 30 cars. So when it comes to OPC and how it works, you are basically taking over this person's vehicle, where they're basically giving us possession of the vehicle full time. So we have this car here 30 days out of the month. Every day, our investors doesn't touch the car, doesn't see the car. If they come in town, they could drive the car if it's not rented, but we have full possession of the car, where we actually do all the maintenance on the vehicle. We wash the car, we promote the car, we post the car, we drop off the car, we deal with any damages of the car. A to Z, we run the whole vehicle. So it's basically we're owning the vehicle. They're still making the monthly payments if the car is under their name. They're still paying their insurance on their vehicle under their personal name, but we're paying for our fleet insurance. We're also, Turo has their own insurance too, that the car's insured when the car's on the trip. And we're basically just taking care of all day-to-day necessities when it comes to a rental fleet. So now he has his car here making him money, he has residual income coming in, and he's having an asset paid off. It's a win-win overall. It's definitely worth managing all these cars to grow the fleet, because in hindsight, at having 15 vehicles, I was able to grow so much clientele where I had no vehicles here at any time. And having no vehicles basically means I have no income. But if I have this car going out for $150 a day and me making 30%, I am still making income on this vehicle every single day that it's out at $150 a day. So I'm making 30% of $150, which is about $40 a day. So if this car goes out for 20 days out of the month, I'm still making $800 on this vehicle just for running the car. My cost is nothing. I have car washes where I probably pay $30 a month. My employee cost is slim to none, so I'm still profiting probably $600 a month from this vehicle alone. And if you were able to repeat that cycle and have 20 cars all making over $500 a month, you're making over 5 figures a month now just from other people's cars without even running your own. So if you want to get started today and you want to start your fleet, there's 2 different ways to do it. First would be, having your own cars, having your own investments, starting with financing your own cars, buying a car cash if you have the capital to do so and have some investment to play with. When it comes to starting your own fleet with your own vehicles, I would suggest if you have $5,000, $10,000, if you have some capital to play with, I wouldn't suggest going and buying car cash. I would suggest actually financing multiple vehicles and probably splitting that different ways to get more vehicles at once. Because once you run your credit once and once you get a car on your report, it's really hard to get approved for another one. One of the cheat codes is you could actually go into a dealership and get a car. So I go to Chevrolet and buy this Corvette for $80,000, and I got approved with Bank of America for 80 grand. Now I go to a Jaguar and I see this car and it's $60,000 and I apply for the vehicle the same day and I get approved by Chase. Bank of America does not know I got this car through Chase, and Chase does not know I got this car through Bank of America. So guess what? I'm able to get both these cars. But if I waited over a month to do the same transactions, I wouldn't get approved because Bank of America had already approved me for this car. Chase sees it. They don't think I could make the both payments. So now I'm screwed and I can't get more cars. So if I had $10,000 and I wanted to get 3 cars, say 1, 2, 3, I put 3,000 here, 3,000 here, 3,000 on that one, and now I get 3 cars, 3 different bank loans, and I'm able to start my fleet with 3 vehicles instead of 1 paid off car, or instead of just, you know, getting 1 car and putting $10,000 down on 1 car, where now I have 3 vehicles, and it also makes your investment safer. Second, and I think a safer way, is just to have other people's cars. You know, if you have somebody that can trust you with their vehicles and you're showing them proof that you're able to make income on this car, it's a no-brainer to them. If I have a car sitting around that I'm making a $500 payment for, that I'm not even driving the car, and you come up to me like, hey, you could be making $1,000 on this car a month, I'm like, here, take my car. My asset's still being paid off. I own the car at the end of the day, and I'm making money for my pocket. Now my gas is free for the month, or I'm just making money for another investment in the future. All in all, I am a 20-year-old entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I started at 18 years old, and I started with just a vision of wanting to drive my dream cars for free. And it basically turned from just having a vision, having Hot Wheels at home, into basically having all the keys and cars here in front of me. If you want to get started, don't be scared to. It is frightening to start your own business. It is frightening to get an investment this big, knowing that you're going to be $1,100 a month in debt every single month if you don't pay it off. But it is definitely worth it if you put your mind to it and you actually get this car for purposes to rent and not want to be stingy and hold the vehicle because you don't want to rent it to a certain person, or you don't want to rent it because you have a date that night. So if you want to start a Turo business, or if you started a Turo business and only have a few vehicles and you want to grow it and scale it to that next level, OPC is the way to go. Make sure you reach out to people, get other people's cars, and grow your fleet. I'll see you guys next time.